Right, chat, very good afternoon. I hope we are all doing well today. Welcome to the stream. Alrighty, so we're back again, second day in a row now. Back again with some more Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today we're going to be flying in Thailand. So this is a sort of request, I suppose, suggestion by one of our good, long-standing viewers, Christopher. I don't know if he's in the chat today. He actually just got back from a trip in Thailand. So he requested he wanted to see some flights in Thailand. So here is me meeting that request. And I'm pretty excited to do so, to be honest. I flew AirAsia when I was actually in Malaysia. And I really like their livery, to be honest with you. So I've been looking for excuses to fly AirAsia. And they do actually fly in Thailand under Thai AirAsia. So that's what we're going to be doing today, real world operations. And it's like I say, it's going to be real world. So based on a real world flights using the real world gates and call signs, etc. So we're going to be flying from Bangkok. We're going to be flying from the southernmost airport in Bangkok. I believe there's actually two airports. I'm not going to try and pronounce the name, but it begins with an S. It's VTBS anyway, if anyone's interested. We're going to be flying down to Phuket on the west coast of Thailand, VTSP, and it should be pretty cool. The weather currently is favouring runway 27, which is nice because I think, as I mentioned in the last stream, it does have a localizer offset for the ILS, which is always quite fun. So you have to do a little bit of an adjustment onto the center line as you're coming in for a landing. So always enjoy a bit of spice. Not too much mind, but should be good fun. And I have gone ahead and, I mean, it kind of pained me to do this, I'm not going to lie, to buy both of these sceneries today, because this is the first time I've flown out of both of these airports, and I'm not sure how much I'm going to be flying these airports, but maybe we'll try and mix in some different routes in the future. But yeah, we're flying out of the Siamflight Bangkok scenery. And it is quite good. It's quite expensive as a scenery, considering the quality level. I think it does have some deficiencies compared to what we're used to for that price range. It was about £20. So on the whole, though, it is pretty good. And then we've got the Orbx scenery for Phuket, which is really, really nice. I am a big fan of that. So yeah, both quite expensive sceneries, both around £20. And what was I going to say now? Just totally lost my train of thoughts. Yeah, so both really good sceneries. And yeah, I really can't remember what I was about to say. So we'll move on from that anyway. Good. Okay, then. Right, who have we got in the chat? So we've got, well, FaZe Cloud was here earlier with the first like. Don't know if you're still out there, but welcome, dude. Hope you're doing well. Ollie, welcome to the chat. Acelus, welcome indeed. James, welcome to the chat. Matt Rasso, welcome indeed. Hope you're doing well. Excuse me. Bagels, welcome to the chat. Congratulations, my dude. Hope you're doing well. Quizzy, welcome indeed. Welcome indeed. Carl, welcome to the chat. Brendan, welcome from Tampa. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the chat. Craig, welcome again. Won't be joining today, but watching the stream from Spain while having a snack. Very nice, my friend. Very nice. Yeah, I'm a little bit jealous, I can't lie. Although the weather here is actually really, really nice here in the UK. Today, it's feeling very summery and very warm. As you can see, I've got the blinds open in the background just because it was so nice and, you know, fresh feeling. So yeah, glad to have you with us. Dead SDK, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Welcome indeed. Chris is here. Very good. Welcome indeed, dudes. It's easy to pronounce. Oh, we'll see about that one. It's pronounced Suvarna. Yeah, okay, so that's that's not. I mean, it might be easy when you can just sit there and practice it on your own, but when you've got people watching you do it, it becomes a little bit more difficult. I'll practice it off stream and come back to you on that one. Stephen, welcome to your chat. Hope you're doing well. Right then, guys. So let's get cracking with the flight today then. Currently here on the ground at Bangkok. I'm just going to call it Bangkok, Chris. I'm sorry. And yeah, we'll start off by doing our OFP brief as we normally do. We'll have a quick look around this scenery as well before we get underway here. Now, this is obviously a real world flight, but I have actually plugged it into New Sky as if it was a Fuzz Air flight. So, yeah, just because I really enjoy the tracking that New Sky offers for your approach and landing and things like that. So, I thought I would just put it in there and have that tracking available to us, which is always nice. Right, so let's crack on, and we're gonna brief the OFP as normal. So today we're gonna be Thai AirAsia 4110. We're going from Bangkok to Phuket in an A320 registration Hotel Sierra Alpha Bravo Lima. Callsign today is going to be Thai Asia 4110. We are on VATSIM as well, by the way, guys. I am currently connected. I was kind of hoping with there being an event on there's actually an event on down here. There might have been a bit more traffic and maybe some more controllers online in the area. As you can see, there is a decent amount of controlling going on in China. But just not in Thailand, unfortunately. There is even a controller on at Singapore. So, I don't know. Maybe someone comes online. But, yeah, we are on VATSIM. So, that's going to be the call sign. Should somebody come online. Oh, obviously, we're on Unicom as well. We're departing. Target off box time is 12:40 Zulu time. That's current Zulu time. Now, in the sim, I'm actually using a slightly different time. Just because it's dark, basically, in Thailand at the moment, so I thought I'd just reverse the time a little bit so we've got a bit of daylight so we can see the beautiful scenery. And target on box time, well, estimated on box time 14:16. Cost index is actually this is one thing I usually look up when I'm flying a new airline on the channel. Now this is not something I looked up today. I just used a figure that I'd previously used. Let's see if it's in here. No, it's not. Okay, well, we'll just go with 30 anyway, seeing as though we've generated the flight plan based on it. So covering 454 miles. Takeoff weight is quite heavy, 65.5 tons, and alternate is going to be VTSB, not sure where that is, but we'll find out below. Cruising at flight level 360. En route time is going to be 1 hour and 8 minutes, and alternate, if we need to divert, it's going to be 28 minutes. Block fuel 6404, and then expecting, we're not actually expecting 01 right here. I don't know why SimBrief gave me this runway, to be honest with you. If the wind is coming from the south, so we're actually going to be using 19 right for the departure, which is what they're using in the real world. I did just check that earlier on, so we'll use 19 right here. Oh, hang on a minute. What is going on here? Is that... Oh, I'm getting so confused here. So there's an old runway here which is closed, but yeah, I was getting so confused because the 19 right is sort of above this threshold. Anyway, we'll be using 19 right, and we'll be on the Sabis 3 Golf for departure. That's what we're expecting, and we are on Unicom, so that's probably what we'll get. And then we're expecting arrival into Phuket on the Samsa 1 Delta, runway 27. 162 passengers, 2.5 tons of cargo. And then coming further down, we do have a bit of weather in the area, so looking like we've got embedded thunderstorms observed with tops of flight level 350. Stationary, no change. And let's see, similar sort of thing here. However, the top's flight level 530. I actually misread that. Crikey, that's some high high thunderstorms. Coming further down, looking at the weather here at Bangkok. I'm actually just going to put this through here to get the most recent. 11:30 is actually the most recent by the looks of things. Winds from the south, 190 at 13 knots. Weather looks good, basically. A little bit of wind, but nothing too crazy. And then weather at Phuket looks very good as well. Destination alternate is Surat Thani, which weather doesn't actually look particularly inviting there, but it doesn't look the worst in the world. So that is the OFP. We'll have a quick look at the charts here. So initially out to the, well, this map's based on the departure route from runway 01 right. So we'll ignore that little turn there. We're going to be basically coming out to the south initially, and then over the east coast of Thailand, and then into Phuket from the east. Significant weather forecast here. Let's go. Is there a lower one? This one's between flight level 250 and flight level 630. Okay, so it's giving me this one because of how high the cloud tops are. So, yeah, you can see here we've got both of these areas that are forecast, sort of echoing the SIGMETs that are in place there. Isolated embedded CBs between below flight level 250 and up to flight level 520. Crikey, that is some very, very high tops there. Something I don't think I've ever seen before, actually. Flying in Europe, on the sim, of course. Right, so that's that. Let's get the aircraft set up then, shall we? That's the upcoming third runway. Got it, Chris. Thank you. Well, he's flying with a friend right now from Girona to Malta in the NEOS 737. Very nice. Enjoy, my friends. James said he did my first flight last night. Messed up landing a bit, but really enjoyed. Adds another level to flying in the sim. Made 9K. Yeah, great. Well, glad to hear it, dude. Glad you enjoyed it. And yeah, it does take a little bit of getting used to. I mean, I think New Sky is actually a really good tool for learning, to be quite honest. So yeah, I think you'll find yourself improving just from using it. Right, guys, shall I have just a very quick look around this airport, because it is rather well done. Like I said, I do have some reservations with it, but I think for the most part it is rather well done. As you can see, the architecture, very, very visually stunning and very nicely rendered here. Very nicely modeled and textured, I have to say. So, yeah, I mean, it's really nice architecture. And I'm going to try and not, get too caught up with the architecture here, because although it is quite a stunning sort of piece of architecture for an airport, it's pretty repetitive throughout the airports. So let's have a look at some of the details. Some of the things I'm not overly happy with, really. I mean, the ground textures, for a start, they just look a bit smooth to me, if you know what I mean. They just look a bit... They don't look... I wouldn't say they look fresh. I wouldn't say they look new, but they just look... like they've got this sort of smoothness to them that I can't really describe, which throws me off a bit. And then you've got these red lines and the white lines. It all just looks very, very like it was painted like 10 minutes ago kind of thing, which I'm never a big fan of the look of. If you look at these signs here, it looks like they've got the coloration right on these signs regarding the yellow there. It's not too bright. Although, having said that, the actual texture on there, I didn't notice that before, but the texture on there is very, very much a blank texture almost. It's got no sort of weathering on it or anything, no detail, which I didn't notice before, but now I have, and that is also a bit of a disappointment. So yeah, I mean, I think generally, I mean, these jetways are pretty nice. I do think some of the textures are lacking details, like if you look at these pipes coming down here, for example. Obviously, we've got some of the sceneries that sell for less money than this, that are, similar size, if not bigger, with far more detail. Looking at JFK, for example, by Unibuilds. And then, I mean, what is this? Oh, this is a GSX bug here. It's a GSX thing. But coming further out here, the ground textures out here on the apron look fairly okay. Similar sort of smoothness to them, though. The coloration on these look a bit better. Another thing I noticed as well is if you come into one of the stands here and look at the text down at the end here, that just looks absolutely dire, doesn't it? Really, really poor. Really, really not good at all. And the yellow there, just absolutely not great. So yeah, that's just a little taste, I suppose, of this airport. We'll zoom over to sort of this sort of main area over here. I am exploring this a lot of this for the first time as well, by the way, guys. But these are just some of my initial observations, really. Do they have custom taxiway signage? They do not. That's the default, isn't it, chat? I think. Pretty sure it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So, again, for a £20 scenery, no custom taxiway signage. So, yeah. Let's have a quick look at this little tower here. It looks like this is maybe an apron controller or something like that. I'm not sure. Nice lighting on top, though. Very, very bright, but it's there. Some good detailing, though, on this scenery, though. There is another scenery for this airport out by another developer, which looks even worse, to be honest, by quite a long way. What is going on here? Does this have its own VDGS and GSX is sort of in front of it? What's that about? Interesting. Anyways, the detailing is generally quite good. It looks like there's a decent amount of clutter and whatnot. You've got the Thai branded vehicles, which, again, very, very poor textures there. Not that great. I mean, I can forgive, you know, the models, you know, when they're a bit like... when they've got straight lines like this, when it's like, you know, a detail piece, but these textures just... abysmal. I fear what they've done on this scenery is they've spent far too much time getting the interior in and making it look really, really good internally and with this really complex structure rather than getting some of the basic things right, if you know what I mean, like the taxiway signage, the textures. I mean, it is a great effect, don't get me wrong. It does look fantastic. They've done... for this part, it is really, really, really quite stunning. But I probably could have done without that, you know? Oh, and look in here as well. Like, holy mother of... wow. I mean, this is really, really fantastic. Really, really commendable and super, super detailed. It's literally everything in here. That is insane. Wow. I can understand why they did the interiors to the detail that they did, you know, for the concourses, because you can see quite clearly into them from when you're pulling up in an aircraft. But this area right here, how visible is this actually from the apron? Like, not very. So it's interesting that they did so much in there. But nevertheless, it is extremely impressive and, you know, big wow factor, certainly. Very, very cool. Like, the textures in here, absolutely fantastic. Like, that's good. You know, like, the textures on everything in here is actually really nice quality, considering it's just an interior. What else have we got? Let's check the tower. There's obviously some custom roads here as well, which is quite cool to see. Custom signage on there as well. Let's just bump up the exposure a bit. It looks like there's actually some cars driving on the roads, which is quite rare to see when developers do their own custom roads. Sometimes you don't get cars driving on them, which is nice. This tower is absolutely mega, isn't it? It's so huge. Oh, and they've done the interior in here as well, albeit not to quite as high detail level as the rest of the airport, but holy moly, this is a very tall tower, isn't it? Then looks like there's some ancillary buildings as well. And a big hangar over there, big Thai hangar. What is this over here? Oh, it's just lighting. They've put in all the lighting in the car park here, which is also pretty commendable, actually, I would say, even though they've not put no textures down. I think that's pretty commendable. And you've got this little... Is this a exit from a road or something? It's a blue road, though. And there's a Thai hangar. Very big hangar. Cool. Well, I mean, yeah, it's a solid... I mean, you guys know me. I absolutely put a lot of my opinion for an airport scenery. I base it a lot on the fundamental stuff like ground textures, ground markings, taxiway signage, and the general feel of the airports, you know, and those textures I feel can really make or break the feel of an airport, in my opinion. So I think I'm probably going to give this one, just based on what we've just seen, we'll probably give it a 6.9, I think, out of 10. 6.9 maybe. Maybe if I went give it some more decimal places, I would give it quite close to a 7. Or maybe a 7. Maybe a 7.7. 7.0, maybe. Wojtek, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Car's fresh out of Roblox here. It does look a bit like that. I mean, I've never played Roblox, but it kind of does look like that, doesn't it? Fuzzy, can you make a YouTube video on how to set up the drone camera? What is it that you're struggling with regards to the drone camera? What would you like me to cover in that? Because there's quite a lot to it, I suppose, with the drone camera. And everybody wants different things. So, yeah. Let me know. James says Changi Airport in Indonesia is a stunning airport. Flew into Jakarta a few years back. Visually stunning. We'll have to check out if there's a payware version of it. Great, yeah. I'm not sure if there's a payware of Jakarta, but there is one of Changi, I think. Are they the same airport, actually? Maybe. I think I might be thinking of a different airport that has a similar name. Oh, Singapore, yes. So there is a Singapore Changi, yeah. Yeah, I was actually going to get that one, and I was almost considering doing as a sort of an Asian route. I was thinking of doing Singapore to Phuket instead of this one, but I wanted to fly the Phoenix, so we've got this one. Right. Okay, so I've waffled on a bit. So let's get cracking with the flight then, shall we? So we'll get the jetways in place. Why is I don't get why GSX is so adamant on using my sim brief time. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, is it not going to operate the jetways for me? Hello? Operate jetways, please. Thank you. Okay, we've got some nice lighting on the jetways. Love to see it. Very, very nice. We've got a GSX profile as well for this, this airport, which you'll love to see. Good. Right, so jetway is connected. We'll go ahead and call the refueler and the catering. Okay, welcome on board, guys. Let's get the music turned down now for the setup. Good, good, good. All right, so welcome on board. So this livery This is just one of the liveries that comes with the Phoenix. And except what I did was I actually found another AirAsia livery from on flightsim.to, and I kind of merged the interior into the Phoenix livery because I couldn't find a Thai AirAsia on flightsim.to. As you can see, Thai AirAsia here with the red registration there. I couldn't find that on flightsim.to, so I kind of had to merge the two together. So yeah, we've got the nice AirAsia branding on the interior, which you love to see. So let's jump into the flight deck then, and we'll get set up. Alrighty. Watchtech says the camera you have where you use your control limit to move around. Well, for the drone camera, I'm mainly using the default keybinds that come on the Xbox controller. So there's not that much to it. I would recommend getting a Xbox controller and just having a play around and getting used to the controls. And yeah, I'm mostly using the default keybinds for the drone camera. Right, looks like we've got the catering here. We've got Thai catering today. Love to see it. Very nice. Very, very nice. Okie dokes then, chat. So we've already had the pilots monitoring on board today. The captain has already been on to the flight deck here and done a bit of the setup. It is getting fairly warm here in the cockpit. I would say open the window, but it's just going to make it warmer. So we'll keep it closed for now. But what I think we will do is let's start the APU actually. We'll get that cranked. Good. So let's get moving on with the setup here in the MCDU. So nav database is current. That's all good there. We'll go init request. We're going to be AIQ 4110 today, which will stick in there. We're going to do a cost index of 30. We'll go flight level 360 for the cruise, and temperature on the ground here 31 degrees. Toasty. So for the flight plan, we'll actually bring in the climb wind as well. Well, all of the wind, should I say. We'll bring in the winds. Now we'll go back to the flight plan here. We'll use a 019 right, sorry. 19 right, and the Sabis 3 Golf departure. There it is. Oops, did not mean to press that. And we'll insert. Okay, so I'm just going to check the details versus the charts. So below 9,000, below 160, and that's it really. No speed constraints except for a Rovan 220. Good. So for the engine out SIDS, we'll go VTBS 19 right. And we'll go 25 miles and 195. So straight ahead for 25 miles if we have an engine failure. And then we won't set up the arrival just yet, just to smooth things along a little bit here. We've got an RNAV departure. So nothing to tune here. Let me just check the situation regarding the refueling. He is here. So we'll go ahead and get that loaded. We'll also request the passengers as well. Good. So VTBS and VTBS. So in case of an engine failure, we'll come back round and do a landing on 19er. 19er left would probably be better for a if we had an engine failure. It's a bit longer. So we'll select that, and then we'll go init B. We'll come over here. We should have a load sheet already. We do 59.3. And the CG 31.2. Refueling is still underway, but we are expected to have 6.4 tons today. Route reserve is going to be 0.6. And alternate fuel 1.3. Good. Okay, so that's all fine and good. We'll go perf. Now, for the departure perf, I was actually looking at some aircraft departing this airport on Flight Radar 24 just before the stream started, and it looks like they tend to use Echo 6 for departure, so I thought let's try that one as well, shall we? So 19 right, we'll go packs on, and the APU should be nice and warmed up now. Let's get the APU bleed on and get it cooled down in here for the passengers. Pack flow is high. Very, very warm, especially here in the flight deck. Okay, let's get the fuel pumps on now as well. We've got the refueling completed as well as the seatbelt sign. Good, so we'll sync the live weather and we'll go intersection. Oh, we can't. We can only do full length, unfortunately. For some reason, it doesn't have the intersections here. I'm surprised it doesn't have the intersection data for such a large airport. I'll tell you what I'll do is, let me just see if I can try and run the... run the same thing through a different calculator. Okie dokes. Let me just come back here for some of the data. Might be better to take it from here, actually.
Hello.
Right, 655, 42. $29.5. Flaps. We'll see if we can do flaps 1. Anti-ice is going to be off. Air conditioning is going to be on. Sorry guys, I'm just doing this calculation on the other screen, see if I can get it to work. So Echo 6, let me just see if there is a chart that's going to show us the runway available from there.
Hello.
There's so many charts for this airport, it's absolutely obscene. Absolutely obscene. Right, I can't seem to find it, so we are just going to... What we'll do is we'll just go for a... This is done as a flaps 2 takeoff. We'll just go for flaps 3 as a failsafe. And then we'll go Echo 6 still. I'm sure we'll still be absolutely fine. I mean, it's a very, very, very long runway. But like I say, we don't have the way... We don't have the ability to calculate it properly. So 5.7... all around, 3 down 0.268. I suppose we could also force Toga as well, couldn't we? 323841, 3 down 0.2. 138141. Flaps 3 down 0.2. And Toga, I don't know the departure procedures here. There isn't any information on it on Blackbox's website, so we're just going to go assume it's NADP2, and the transition altitude of 11,000 is correct. Good. Right, so 323841. That's all good. Right, fantastic. Good stuff. Is it cooling down? It is. It's actually getting rather cool now, so we'll just bump that up just a tiny bit here. We don't want to be getting cold here in the flight deck. Right, lovely stuff. So, have we got the passengers coming down? We do. Look at that. Love to see these good GSX profiles where they've put the full route in for the passengers coming down. Very, very nice. Good. How do you move the Phoenix seat? Yeah, I think Matt's answered that, but you can, yeah, you can just use these two switches. Just click and drag. You can even put them up and down, which is super cool. Love the sounds as well. Really, really nice. It's just a shame the you can't move this little indicator. I think in the real aircraft, this actually adjusts depending on, you know, what you have set here. And you can just basically make note of where these indicators are to get the same seating position every time. That'd be a cool little detail, wouldn't it? Right, so initial climb clearance, there isn't really one, but we'll set 9,000, which is what makes the most sense based on the charts. We'll obviously do a briefing in a moment. Right.
Good morning. Thank you.
Okie doke, so checklist. Cockpit preparation. So gear pins and covers removed. Fuel quantity is 6.3 tons. Ideas are in nav. Seatbelt signs. Sorry. Ideas are in nav. Seatbelt signs are on, and the bar ref set to 1004 on all three. So cockpit preparation checklist complete. Good. So we're actually running possibly a little bit late here. We are not past our target off box time yet, but oh, we are actually by 10 minutes, so we are running late. But I think we're getting to the end of the passengers now. I think, maybe, hopefully. Look how cool this architecture looks though from the flight deck. It does look very, very stunning. Like I said, it's really quite a thing to behold. And I mean, to be honest, I would say the scenery is possibly worth it just for that sensation, but I don't know, man. It is a little rough around the edges for the price. Okay, so we're on Unicom, so don't have a squawk code to put in. We don't have anyone online still, so that's fine. We'll just have to continue as we are. And yeah, so we're just waiting for the passengers now, really. Let's go greet some of them, shall we? Daz, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Sorry I missed your message earlier on.
Hello.
Get a move on, guys. Get a move on. Yeah, still a few more. Nevertheless, I think the baggage is completed already. That's real quick, actually. Or maybe it's just because we've got so many passengers. There's a lot of flickering going on there, though, isn't there? That's rather off-putting. Dan Voser, welcome to the chat. How do you make the drone camera lock onto the airplane? You're probably going to kick yourself when I tell you this, but just go drone lock mode and turn that on there. And then it's just fixed to the plane there. A good tip to do is to actually reset the position of the drone camera first, and then just nudge it down a little bit like that, maybe a little bit further. Put the lock mode on, and then move your camera, because then your aircraft's always going to be nice and centered. I usually give it a little bit of a nudge to the left a little bit as well, because sometimes it can be, well, I think the default position is a little bit too far forward, if that makes sense. Alrighty. So we'll do a departure briefing whilst we wait for the rest of the passengers, shall we? So first time departing from this airport. What keybinds? Whatever you want to set, Dan. On the Xbox controller, I think it's the right analog stick, but it might be the left analog stick. Clicking it down, I can't remember off the top of my head. But if you go into your controls options, you can certainly find it out. It's just drone lock mode, I think, the keybind. And how did you do the nudge to the left? I'm using the rotation for the drone camera. So again, if you're using Xbox controller, it's the right analog stick to rotate the camera like this. And the left analog stick sort of goes in and out and pans, whereas the right analog stick kind of spins around. Does that make sense? Right. Oh, you wouldn't have been able to see that, will you? I can do it again in a minute. Right, so departure briefing. So we're going to be departing Bangkok, Thailand. We're looking initially at the 20-9, although we'll look at the taxi on a different charts. This is, yeah, the 20-9. Airport elevation is 5 feet. Excuse me. 5 feet here at Bangkok. So, let's have a look. We're currently here at Concourse B, and let's have a bit of a closer in look. We're currently at stand Bravo 6, parked in here. Now, we'll push back facing to the west, I imagine, here. And we do have a predefined taxi route here as well. So, actually, no, we won't. We'll push back facing to the west, like this. Because there is a predefined taxi route here. You can see it's initially Tango 6, Tango 7, and then that is the wrong chart that I'm looking at there. So this is for 19 right. Taxi routes arrivals, wrong one. We want departures. I told you there's so many freaking charts. It's so easy to pick the wrong one. Right, so taxi routes, departures, runway 19 right. 20-9 Mike is the chart we're looking at. So, we'll push back still to the west. Tango 6, Tango 7, Hotel 4, Hotel, and then we'll follow this all the way down. Take a right turn onto Delta 8, following that all the way down to Echo 1 for 19er right, which is here. So we're then going to be departing on the Sabis 3 Golf departure. This is an RNAV departure for runway 19er. This is the 10-20-3 Mike charts, and it is an RNAV SID. Transition altitude 11,000 feet. Obviously GPS required, etc. All the other requirements. Initial climb clearance. Oh, I missed that earlier on. Initial climb clearance is 6,000, so we'll set that. And we're going to initially depart straight ahead to Roven, max 220 knots there. That is an overfly waypoint, which we have already checked. The speed restriction and the overfly is in there in the MCDU. We're going to take a right bearing to BS 907 and then another right bearing to 908. Maximum altitude there, 9,000. And then continuing out to Salma, maximum flight level 160 there, and a left turn out to Sabis. And then we'll be proceeding en route from there. Yeah, so weather is... let's have a look at the updated weather, shall we? Yeah, so weather is looking pretty fine here at... at Bangkok. No real threats really to be worried about here. We've got a predefined taxi route that we know is going to be, well, we don't have any ATC online really, do we? So we're more or less taxiing at our discretion, but you know, should there be ATC online, I think that's probably going to be one of the most crucial threats for the departure is you know, the taxi routing, making sure we get it right, because unfamiliar with the airport, and it's very complex airport layout as well. Other than that, it should be relatively straightforward, I think. And one thing I missed off the briefing actually is I said we were going to do an Echo 6 departure, won't we? So that's here. So we'll just take a left off of Echo here to Echo 6, and then we'll depart that way. In fact, we can turn left there. So we'll do that. Good. Okie dokes. So that is us then for the taxi route. I'm just going to do a bit of this so I can monitor where I am. Okie dokes. Cool. Let's rock and roll, shall we, chat? Passengers are all on board. APU is started. Let's call the tug driver over. Close this door. Looks like whoever did this profile for GSX has put some walkers inside as well. That's not part of the scenery, that's part of GSX putting in the animated people there, which is really quite cool. Nice little effect, love to see it.
Hello, Captain, we are ready for pushback.
That is a nice shot though, really, isn't it, chat? Oh, look at that, we got someone else. Fantastic. Right in time for the screenshot there. Knock Air. Very, very cool livery. Look at that. That is freaking cool, man.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Look at that. Love to see it. Very, very nice. I love the pink on the wheels here. Alrighty, so before start checklist.
Release parking brakes, please.
Before start checklist, parking brake is set. Takeoff speeds 323841, and we're doing a toga takeoff. Windows are closed, and the doors as well. Beacon light is on before start checklist complete. Good, let's go. Parking brake released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Okie dokie then, chat. Let's go. Engine mode selected 2, ignition starts. And we'll actually do a single engine again, chat, because we've got quite a long taxi here. So engine 1 starts. Look at that. Liana, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Oh, he's pushing me the wrong way. I always get that muddled up on GSX. Never mind. We'll just have to take a an extra right turn.
Reset parking brakes.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Parking brake is set. Right, we'll do single engine chats for the taxi. So, engine mode selector to normal. There is something on this after start flow that you would not do if you're not starting both engines, but I honestly can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Is it setting the flaps?
Unlocking gear.
It may be. Yeah, we hang fire on. We'll just hang fire on it anyway, because we can't do the taxi checklist yet until we've fully started both engines yet. So we'll do that.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
I've got all these ecams because we've not put the yellow electric pump on, so we'll get that on. Get APU bleed off, APU master off, and that should clear some of them. That's good. And the trim will wait until we set as well. We'll basically leave a bunch of the stuff like auto brake, trim, and the flaps until we've started the second engine. Good. Okay, there's the hand signal. Right, after start checklist, anti-ice not required, ecam status is checked, pitch trim. We can set the pitch trim, yes, it's part of the after start checklist, isn't it? So 29.5 on the pitch trim. 29.5 is set, and the rudder trim is neutral. After start checklist complete. Let's go, chat. Bangkok traffic, Thai Asia 4110, taxiing to runway 19 right. Bangkok traffic. Alright, parking brake released. I think it might be the flight controls check that you actually delay until the second engine start, actually. I think that might be it. That might be it. Can you taxi on one engine? Will the plane pull one way? It will pull one way, yes, but you absolutely can taxi on one engine. I'm pushing on the wrong direction. Yes, I realised that, Chris. Yeah, I did plan on pushing to the west, but I must have got confused regarding the way GSX pushes. I asked it to do tail left, but I thought that was from my perspective. It must be from the tug driver's perspective. So, yeah, never mind. Just take an extra couple of right turns here. Is that one of you guys in the knock air? Yeah, that yellow electric pump whirring away. Stopping the APU will make the second engine start more difficult, though. Not overly. I mean, it might not be as common to do it without the APU, but you can definitely do a cross-bleed start quite easily. Yes, Liana, yeah, I worked that out now. Although that being said, I did click tail left, nose right. Oh no, sorry, I must have clicked tail right, nose left. I can't honestly remember. I'll have to go back and watch it. But nevertheless, I clicked obviously the opposite of what I actually wanted. Yeah. I'm just used to, with most GSX profiles, you know, they tend to label the pushbacks, so it makes more sense regarding, you know, the instructions that the, you know, controllers would give you, realistically. Right, so we're taking a right here onto a Gulf. Actually, are we? I've forgotten already. No, we're not. We're going right onto hotel. I didn't think Golf sounded right. So hotel is here on the right. So nose right means my nose goes right. Right. I will remember that. James says, great briefing. That's why I like your streams. You explain everything fully, and it helps newbies like myself learn. Yeah, well, admittedly, I'm always learning myself. You know, it's one of those things where you're always learning new things, most definitely. But yeah, I'm glad you appreciate it. I do like to, you know, I see my streams. You know, I really like, you know, a lot of those videos on like the YouTube channels like Just Planes and stuff like that. And I would say my stream format is a little bit inspired by those. It's like a cockpit presentation, if you like. And yeah, I like it. I like doing it that way. It's enjoyable. All the jaggies really ruin that kind of look from this distance, doesn't it? Does look cool though. Pringles, welcome to the chat. Altitude shows negative. It does, yeah. Yeah. Now, I'm not sure if the QNH is updated since I set off. It has. So, there we go. Right, so let us just come down here real quick. We'll just check the load sheet, make sure everything is good there. Compliance, so we'll proceed. That's all good. As you can see, when I don't touch the controls here, James, it's swinging off to one side. Interestingly, the left side, it really should be going right. But it is also, yeah, actually, why is it doing that? That's a bit odd, isn't it? Interesting. But yeah, it is quite a common thing to do these days from what I've learned. Single engine taxi. Obviously, as long as the taxiway isn't contaminated or icy or whatever, absolutely fine. Sasha, no worries, dude. Hope you're doing well. Which engine do I have on? I've got engine 1. Left engine. James said if you had an engine out failure, would you have to rudder down to compensate? Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Right, so at Delta 8, we're going to take a right turn. Delta 8 is just up ahead here. And we're going to go towards Delta 7. Is that a controller? Oh, it is. Amazing. Alright, let's just get the ATIS real quick. And we'll just sort of... Not the most ideal place to stop, but... We'll just have to stop here because we're going to go all over the shop because we're on one engine if we don't stop. So I've got information 8 Alpha and the QNH 1005. Arriving and departing 19 left and 19 right. Okay, interesting. Okay, so it's going to be Tower on 1182.
Ready to copy.
Hey, from go ahead.
German cargo 531, you're clear to destination. Hassel T Juliet departure with 1 and 11. It shall come 6,000 feet. Expect flight level 340 stop. Squawk 122.
Clear Bangalore, Postero 3 Juliet departure, runway 19 left. Initial climb 6,000, squawk 7122. German cargo 531.
And confirm it's Hassel 3 Juliet departure on 1 and left for German cargo 531.
Postero 3 Juliet, runway 19 left. German cargo 531.
German 531, thank you, that's all is correct. S5 and ready for pushback.
Dat is even pushback. German cargo 531.
Tower, very good evening. Thai Asia 4110. We're just on the taxiway Delta 8 at the moment. Just requesting clearance to Phuket.
Copy. Thai Asia 4110, current now available to this. Copy again.
Say again for Thai Asia 410.
Thai Asia 4110, do you ready to copy the current?
Yes, ready to copy clearance. Thai Asia 410.
Thai Asia 4110, you are clear to Phuket. Service 3 Juliet departure, runway 1 and left. Initial climb 6,000 feet, expect flight level 360, squawk 7120.
Cleared to Phuket, Sabis 3 Juliet departure, initial climb 6,000, runway 19 left. Expect flight level 360, squawk 7120, Thai Asia 4110.
Thai Asia 4110, read back correct. Advise when ready for taxi.
Okay, we are actually already, when you contacted us, we're already on the taxi out. We're at Delta 8. Could we
German cargo 531, push and start approve, fades out.
What?
Push and start approved, facing south. German cargo 5.
Was I not transmitting then or something? Thai Asia 410, we're actually already on the taxi out. We're at Delta 8 when you contacted us. Could we depart runway 19 right instead? Thai Asia 410.
Oh, sorry about that, stand by. Thai Asia 4110, disregard and at departure, and new assigned service 3 golf departure on the way 1 and the right, and please set transponder 7120. Call me when ready for taxi again.
Okay, amended departure, Sabis 3 Golf and 19 right, and we'll set squawk and let you know when ready to continue. Thai Asia 410. Okay, cool. So
German Cargo 531.
7120 is set.
Go ahead.
Yeah, as we already set up fully for 19 right, is there a departure for 19 right also available for us?
So Sabbath 3 Golf is as expected, and the initial climb is the same, 6,000.
Sorry about that. New assign, Paso 3 Golf, departure 1.
Sounds like someone else did the same thing.
531.
Pasto 3 Golf, runway 19 right. Thank you so much.
AirAsia 4110, ready to continue taxi.
AirAsia 4110, taxi to holding point runway 19 right via Delta 8 Echo, then Echo 2.
Taxi 19 right via Delta 8 Echo and Echo 2. We can actually take Echo 6 if that'd be more suitable for you. AirAsia 410.
Confirm you want to depart from Echo 6.
Yeah, we could do Echo 6, AirAsia 410. So cleared as brief chats.
Okay, AirAsia 4110, taxi runway 19 right, holding for Echo 6 via Delta 8 and Echo.
Holding point Echo 6 via Delta 8 and Echo AirAsia 410. Right, good. Got there in the end. That was a bit of a convoluted process. Okie dokes then, chat. Lovely stuff.
German Cargo 531, ready for taxi.
Yeah, I'm well aware, chat. I did say fuck it, didn't I? Oopsie daisies.
Delta 2, holding point Echo 1.
Right, so we're not that far away from the holding point now, so we'll go for an engine start on number 2. So we'll get the crossbleed open, pack one off, and oops, there we go. Engine mode set to ignition starts, and engine 2 starts. Such a cool looking airport. So hard to read the signs sometimes when you're moving Echo 8s.
German Cargo 531 at Echo 1, fully ready.
Oh, we've got a German cargo. Is that Cargo Logic, German cargo?
German Cargo 531, Wien 200.
Echo 6 is here. Right, so let's just slow down a little bit.
German Cargo 531.
Okay, engine mode selected back to normal. Set flaps to 3. We'll put the TCAS on now. I'll check ECAM status once again. Pack 1 is still off. We'll go ahead and turn that off along with the electric pump here. Good, and we'll do a flight controls check. So full left, full right, and neutral. Full up, full down, and back to neutral. And then rudder, full left, full right, and back to neutral. This is Echo 6 here. Okay, parking brake is set. We'll go auto brake max. We'll do the taxi checklist. So flight controls are checked. Flap setting config 3. Radar and predictive wind shear on an auto. ECAM engine mode selector is in norm, and the ECAM memo. Takeoff no blue. Taxi checklist complete. Good. 19 right. Love to see it. Okay, very, very good. Do we have...
AirAsia 4110, line up and wait on way for 19 right.
Line up and wait, 19 right, AirAsia 410. We do have a center controller on as well. I'm not sure if we're going to get past to them after here. We may do. No, we won't actually. We might have some controllers on the way into Phuket though. Which is nice to see. We've got the strobe lights on now. And we'll do the lineup check. Let's take off runway 19 right. Confirm TCAS TARA. Pack 1 and 2 are on.
German cargo 531.
Lineup check is complete.
60, Unicom 122.8, have a safe flight. สวัสดีครับ
Unicom 122.8, German cargo 531. Thank you so
Let's
much.
just check the weather again because we've gone to negative again, haven't we?
See you.
006 now. Right. We're very late at departing here, chat. So late. Right, so we've got climb blue, nav blue, 1 FD, 2, 6000 blue, 132141. Good. Engine's nicely warmed up now, so we'll restart that chrono. And yeah.
AirAsia 4110, wind 20012 knot on way 1 and the right clear for takeoff.
1 on the right, clear for takeoff, AirAsia 410. Good. Okay, landing lights on. Let's spool them up, chat. Fuzz togas. Let's do this thing. We're doing a toga takeoff, remember? Engines are stable. Land toga, SRS runway, auto thrust blue. Toga set. Airspeed is alive. 100 knots. V1 rotates. Oh my days, nose wanted to come back down then. Nav, positive rates. Gear up. Satellite imagery around this area is not too great, though, I have to say. It's quite blurry, isn't it? Alright, climb, lever climb, thrust climb, auto thrust. F speed, flaps set to 1.
AirAsia 4110, no further service available with Unicom 122.8, have a safe flight. สวัสดีครับ
1228, thank you, have a good evening. AirAsia 410. Alright, good. Ground spoilers disarmed, nose lights can come off. Being the cabin crew there. Right, AP2. Oh, I always restart that chrono just instinctively, but I tend to like to leave it on these days. Right, S speed. Speed is checked. Flaps set to 0. Alright, let's continue up, shall we? Flight level 360. Full for open climb. Thrust climb, open climb. pull for standard. Flight level 360 blue. Clear that out. Good. Yeah, I do have to say the satellite imagery in Thailand, not the greatest, unfortunately. Roll on World Update Thailand. Oh, we need to pull standard there as well. Okay, off we go, chats, to Phuket, not Phuket. Dear, I'm a child. No worries at all, Sasha, no worries. James says, have I used a Tobii eye tracker? They look cool for taxi, etc. Yeah, it would be great. I would love to have one of those for taxiing and for doing visual maneuvers, but yeah, it's just not really up there on my list of, you know, things to get at the moment, to be honest. And I think for me, with doing the stream, I'm not sure how well it's going to work with this microphone being in front of me all the time. Yes, I believe you need to have it mounted underneath your monitor, I think. So it might... I'm not sure how well that would work. But, I mean, I would like one, but it's just not, like I say, it's not really something that I can afford to splurge on at the moment, I suppose. But yeah, I imagine it would be great for GA aircraft as well. No, this is not live time, no, Sasha. It's currently the evening in Thailand. Common thing among native English where the PH always defaults to F. Yes, I can agree with that. Matt says, yesterday I had a problem with the German guy. I couldn't understand what he was saying. That's strange because normally the German accent is one of the easiest to understand. Yeah, I mean, you know, you always get someone... I mean, there's certain people with certain accents that are just sometimes difficult to hear, aren't they? Just how it is. I mean, some English people, I don't fully understand their accent sometimes, you know? It's good fun hearing new accents until you can't understand something. Yeah, exactly, Matt. It is, yeah. Can be a bit difficult sometimes, especially flying. Excuse me, especially flying an airport that you're not used to as well, and then you've got someone with, you know, a different kind of accent, making it difficult for you to hear what they're saying as well. So yeah, it can be a bit of a challenge. Right. Shall we see if we can get ourselves... Sorry if you guys can hear the child screaming outside, by the way. Let's see if we can give ourselves a bit of a direct. We do have a center controller on a little bit further. Actually, that's a Singapore... Actually, it's not Singapore. It's Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur radar. So we can probably give ourselves a pretty nice direct here, I would say. Let's go direct to Menex, I think. Oh, the sim's frozen. There we go. Let's cut a couple of corners off, shall we? All right, looking forward to this approach. It's a pretty stunning approach from the east. Pretty stunning approach. I mean, I haven't really officially done it before in the sim, but I have had a brief look around the area to see what the surrounding, you know, satellite imagery and stuff was like. It's still not that great, but nevertheless, it's got the right feel to it, I think. Not that I've ever been there, but it does look very nice, I would say. Please show us a bleed page when starting engine 2. Sorry, I missed that comment. Yeah, sorry about that. I mean, you can probably show you roughly how it looked. So if I go pack one off there. Oh, I've still got the cross bleed open. I didn't mean to do that, but it is open. So the bleed page would have probably looked something like that, basically. In fact, no, it wouldn't actually, no, because the APU would be there, wouldn't it? So yeah, it's probably not a good example to show you in flight. I'll do that. And there we go. That closes. Lovely stuff. Okay, good. Oh, I've got to turn my landing lights off. New sky is probably going to penalise, and we'll get the seatbelt signs off as well. Yeah, sorry I missed that message earlier on, Pringles. Apologies. AG says, do planes really jank that hard to aside? I was flying a Cessna 172 yesterday in MSFS, and it blew me away at 7 knots if I wasn't controlling it. I mean, I suppose it depends on the plane, doesn't it? And the wind direction. I mean, I've not really, you know, I've not spent that much time in any planes to really comment on that. So, yeah, I mean, but I would imagine it will depend on the plane, you know, and it's all, remember, it's all relative, you know. A Cessna will probably get blown around, quote unquote, easily, but you have to remember, say, for example, you compare that to an A380. An A380 is a huge lumbering beast, but you have to remember the vertical stabilizer, or the, you know, the tail on a A380 is absolutely enormous, so that's going to catch a lot of wind as well. So yeah, I mean, I suppose it would depend on the conditions and on the plane, etc. But yeah, it was a little bit strange how we were getting pushed to the left on that taxiway, because the wind was actually coming from our were we getting pushed to the left or getting pushed to the right? I can't remember. We were getting pushed to the left, weren't we? But the wind was actually coming from our right there. Sorry, the wind was coming from... Okay, no, yeah, that does make sense. So we're getting pushed to the left. The wind was coming from our left. So it was sort of... Yeah, that does make sense. But I can't really comment on how realistic that is. Because, you know, I've never taxied an A320. But, I mean, there would be definitely some effect, I would imagine. Good. Alfie, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Welcome indeed. Welcome indeed. Right. Progress is good. Expected arrival 1:20 in the sim time, of course. So in about 50 minutes time. So quite a short flight, this. Quite a nice compact leg. Lovely stuff. Right, guys, I'm just going to go nip and get another drink of water. I'll be back with you. So, yeah, bear with me 2 minutes. Right then, homies. We're back. That looks nice though, doesn't it? That's a nice view. Satellite imagery obviously looks a lot better from up here. Photograph Max, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Okie dokie then, chat. So, we've got 29 people in here and only 18 likes. I wonder if we can do a little bit better there. If you're enjoying the stream, guys, do hit the thumbs up button. Do appreciate it very much. Hey, Loco Hombre is here. Thank you very much for the $4 Australian, my friend. That's very generous of you. Thank you so much. Very kind. Thank you, Loco Hombre. Alrighty then, chat. So, let's see how we're doing here. We're still on the climb out. We're doing pretty nice. 65 miles away from Fenix, which is where we did our direct to. I think it should probably be about time, I think, to start getting a little bit prepared for the arrival then, shall we? So, we do not have any ATC online at Phuket at the moment. So, what we'll do is we'll just set it up as we wish. So, winds 2907. So, 27 is still going to be viable for us. So, we'll go ILS 27. And then we'll do the SASVA 1 Delta arrival. So that's selected. Just going to check all of the constraints. And then we'll do a briefing a little bit later on. So 10,000 or below, 8,000... 230 knots, 5,000 at cider or above. And then Baron 200 and above 3,000. That's correct. Good. Then from Baron we go on to the ILS, which... let's just check that. So the final approach fixed at 2,000 feet. That's all correct. Good. 3.2 degree slope here. And the final approach course of 267, which is actually an offset inbound course by 1.4 degrees. And then IPKT 1099er. So that's all correct. That's all good. Right, that's fine. So we'll just stick in the current weather, but we will probably update it as we go. 1008. Temperature 28. 2907 is the wind. And we're going to use the ILS minima 540. And we'll do a config full. Transition level we'll set to 120. And then again, don't know the noise abatement here. Let's just see if I can find that. Oh, it is a noise abatement 2 actually. Okay, fine. So that's all good. Good, okay, so that's all set. Lovely stuff. And seems though we've got plenty of time here, let's just go in here. And we'll actually not go there, we'll go up here. And we'll do VTSP. VTSP 27. We'll just do ourselves a 10-mile ring, I think, is going to be good for us. That's all I really want there. Then we'll go VTSP 27 on here yonder as well. Oh, brilliant. Look at that. We're flying at the optimum flight level for once. Not that often that actually happens, to be honest. Right, so let's, before we do the briefing, let's just check through the flight plan on here. Make sure everything looks correct. Yep, that all looks good. And as you can see, if we zoom in a little bit here, you can see, it's actually a bit difficult to see there on the ND, but yeah, the final approach course is slightly offset of the center line. Good, okay, so that's all that in the box. Let's look at our landing performance. So 27 is dry. And the landing weight, 59.3 plus 3.5, 62.6. Sorry, 62.8, what am I on about? So low auto brake will actually do it. Landing on 2.7, that would probably be quite good actually. I have quite a long rollout. It's not exactly busy there. Yeah, that'll be fine actually. Could we even do flap 3? We could, but I'm not going to do it because I always muck the landings up when I do flap 3. I need to do more touch and goes in flap 3, I think. Also, I do find in flap 3 compared to, say, flaps 30 in the Boeing, the nose-up attitude in the A320 it's not great, is it? It's pretty poor. I don't really like the way that looks. We'll go idle reverse, auto thrust off. So, low auto brake it is. Good. Okie dokie. Let's do a arrival briefing then, shall we? Pringle says if you click again on the line select key and fix info, you'll get point on way instead of circle. Maybe you know that. I'm not sure what you mean by that one. Do you mean like in a beam waypoint? Or you just mean a single waypoint? Anyways, let's do a arrival briefing. So we're arriving into Phuket, Thailand. This is an ILM star 10-2 Alpha chart. Airport elevation 82 feet. Transition level. Oh, it's actually noted here on the chart. I did not realize. Okay. I just assumed otherwise. So let's just make sure that I've got that amended then. Flight level 130 is a transition level. Okay, cool. So transition level 130, and we're going to be flying the SASVA 1 Delta, which is not this, not to get confused with that one or that one. SASVA 1 Delta, and as you can see, this chart has basically got all of the arrivals for Phuket in on one chart. So that's the only chart they have for early arrivals here, as you can see on the left. So we're going to be doing, like I said, the SAVSA 1 Delta. So those two are so closely named. SAVSA 1 Delta. So we're going to come in at SAVSA below altitude 10,000 feet. We're going to go towards Stone, max 230 knots. Max 230 knots there. Below altitude 8,000 feet, we're going to take a left turn into Cider, max 230 knots. And minimum altitude there, 5,000 feet. Then continuing from Cider to Barron, max 200 knots there, and a minimum altitude 3,000 feet. And then this little one there is just regarding this here. So just basically saying we are connecting to the ILS via an intermediate fix for a approach for 27 on either the ILS or an RNAV approach. And then looking at the ILS, we're going to do the ILS. We can do an RNAV approach, and an RNAV approach honestly would be equally as interesting. We've got an RMP Zulu, but the thing is with the RMP is it's nicely aligned with the center line there, and the ILS is not. So I thought we'd do something that's, you know, a little bit different. It's not off by much, chat, but you know, it just makes it a little bit more interesting, doesn't it? So we're going to do the ILS runway 27 here at Phuket. 11-1 chart is what we're looking at. The localizer is India Papa Kilo at Tango 1099er. Final approach course is 267. And the final approach fixed 2,000 feet at 7 miles from the localizer. Runway and airport elevation are coincident, and the MSA based on the put VOR Papa Uniform at Tango is 4,600 in the north, which is the highest area within the MSA. Yeah, so the ILS, few interesting things about it. Initially, we've got a platform altitude of 2,500 feet, and then coming down to 2,000 to the final approach fix. The descent angle is actually slightly steeper than normal, so 3.2 degrees. Although that shouldn't pose too many issues for us, it is going to be a bit steeper than normal. The Pappies, we've got them on both sides of the runway, and the minima 540 feet. And then if we need to go around, essentially it's straight ahead to 2,500, then turn right, direct to the 7-mile India Papa Kilo Tango, and then at 2,500 feet, and hold as directed or by ATC. So it's basically just straight ahead to 2,500, and then take a right turn in towards 7 miles here, and basically start the hold. Good. And then once arriving, we're going to have a look at the taxi in. So we're going to arrive 27. This is a 10-9 chart. We're going to use low auto brake, so hopefully roll out till probably Echo here, or even maybe even Bravo. But we'll do Echo so we can get a bit of a look around the airport, because this is a new scenery to the channel. And stand we want, I forget which stand they used in the real world for this flight. Let me just check that real quick. Hang on. They actually use stand 5 in the real world. So coming back over here, we're going to aim to go into stand 5. In fact, what we'll probably do is we'll go like stand 10. We'll go stand 10 just to extend that taxi out so we can get a bit more of a look around the airport while we taxi in. So we'll come off Echo, Papa, and then a left turn onto Tango 2, and then stand 10. For taxi in, so taxi quite straightforward coming in. Few speed constraints and altitude constraints on the arrival, so I need to be aware of those. And then the ILS non-standard. I didn't actually brief this, did I? This is quite important. This localizer course offset 1.4 degrees. Runway centerline is 2.65 degrees, and you can see here the final approach course of the localizer 267 degrees. So we'll need to do a little bit of a correction on to the centerline for the landing. Right. Okay, and then the weather should be the same as what we looked at just a moment ago. Yeah, so weather looks fine, really. We do have a little bit of wind just to will be from the right of us as we're coming in, which will make turning onto centerline just a little bit harder, but it shouldn't be a big deal, although I probably will muck it up somehow. So that's it, really. That is it. Good-o. Right then. If you click again on the line select key, you'll add point on track instead of a circle. You click 2 times the radius line select key. Okay, let's give it a try then. Let's give it a try. I don't think I've ever actually used that function before. So if I click on here one more time, that doesn't seem to be doing anything. Aren't you thinking of the beam function? No? It's not that either. I don't want a beam now. Go away, a beam. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, it doesn't seem to do anything there. Maybe it doesn't work with... Maybe it doesn't work with a runway threshold fix, maybe. On the radius LSK, okay. I assume I probably need to have a radial in there, right? So, just for science, let's do the reciprocal 085. That doesn't seem to be doing anything either. Are you sure that's not a Boeing thing? That feels like it could be a Boeing thing. But yeah, it doesn't seem to do anything. Maybe it's... Let's try it with a different fix, maybe. Let's try Akira. And now you get a circle. I already had the circle. The circle was already there. All you need to do is put a value in the radius here to get a circle. So you can see Akira. We've got Akira there now, highlighted in white because that's what we typed in. Now we can put maybe a 30-mile ring around it, and there you go. You've got a ring there. And click again and you'll get a point on track, and you can add constraints on that point. What if you set... I'm a bit confused as to how you would set that up, because you would obviously need to have a radial that intersects your flight plan, right? So what if you're setting a ring around a fix that's on your flight plan? The only way that's going to intersect is by... Oh, I see what you mean. So if my inbound course to Akira is 19 so if I put 018 as the radial, like that, and I just zoom in a little bit here so we can see a bit better. So if I press the radial again, it shows a fix. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. Let's do it the other way around now, because we're running out of space here. So if I do a radius of 15 here, and then we do 19 because that's the only way that radial is going to intersect with our track. Now just press the radial again. Doesn't seem to do anything. Yeah. Not seeing what it does there. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Not something I've heard of before, though. I know in the Boeings you can do something similar to that. And the only way you could add a constraint to a fix... Well, I don't think you can add constraints to fixes, can you? You would only be able to add a constraint to a actual waypoint in your flight plan. or to the secondary, obviously. So I'm just a little bit confused on that one. But hey ho, it's all gravy, all gravy. Okay, dokes, coming up to our top of descent. Maybe Phoenix doesn't simulate that. Potentially, yeah. I mean, I'm fairly certain they're simulating pretty much everything. I'd be very surprised if there was a feature that... I mean, I suppose it depends on the software as well, doesn't it, really? You know, there might be different softwares out there that do different things, so... Yeah, maybe it's something that a different version does. I'll have to look that one up, because that's the first time I've heard of that one. James says, how do you find out the stand number? Usually it's on the charts, James. Captain Kavi, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. I've been to Phuket several times. Absolutely stunning place, by the way. It's pronounced Phuket. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it looks really, really nice. My brother stayed there for quite a while, and yeah, he seemed to really like it. Yeah, looks like a really stunning place. But yeah, you'll have to forgive my pronunciation today. It's going to be up and down and left and right, so you'll have to forgive me. It's just the nature of, you know, I don't know, me being on stream and trying to pronounce words I'm not familiar with saying all the time. Right, here we go then. Top of descent. Let's set flight level 150 initially. So, flight level 150 blue, Mac, Des. Good. Should add a new waypoint on intersection of circle and path. Do you mean it should add a new fix? Is the fix info page is not adding any waypoints. It's just adding basically visual references, isn't it? One way I know you can basically do what you're saying in the Airbus is to do a custom waypoint. Or in the Phoenix, I don't think I've ever done that. What is it in the FCOM? Do you know what page it is in the FCOM? And I can go check it out. Or if it's in the Thales flight management system manual, if it's in there as well. I've got that. I can go check in there as well, if you know what page it's on, and we can give it a try. Captain KV says, all good. I have learnt leaps from heaps should I say. See, I can't even pronounce that correctly. From watching your streams. Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure, mate. It's an absolute pleasure. I'm glad that some people learn from the channel, which you know, I mean, it's always a learning experience for me, but I do try and pass on whatever I can do where I can. And what was our learning point from yesterday, chat? Do not look at the ECAM when you disconnect the autopilot. Look at your FMA. After yesterday's rather disgustingly hard landing. Just having a very, very quick scan here through the old through the old Thales FMS manual to see if we've got anything about the fix info to see if I can make more sense of it, but might take me a minute. Right, so we're on our way down now, chat. We've got automated low selected. The weather currently... VTSP is what we want. Why is it giving me VTSP? There we go. QNH is 1008 down there, so let's just go like that. Good. Oh, we need more drag. Okay, we'll do a little bit of speed brake. Do. You know, I feel like the I feel like the Thales FMS manual that I actually have is so out of date. I'm not sure actually. Yeah, I feel like it doesn't actually have the fix info on there actually at all, interestingly enough. Never mind, I'll have to look at that a bit later on. Alrighty. Still need more drag, do we? Let's go to half on the speed brake then. Matt, no worries at all, dude. I'll catch you soon. Captain Cavi says, 20 years ago, I got my PPL living in Sydney, Australia. Where did you gain the knowledge regarding the Airbus A320? Just by watching videos, really, online and reading stuff all over the place, really. Yeah, just watching a ton of YouTube videos and downloading as many, you know, different procedure manuals as I could. And admittedly, I've not read through, you know, all of them. They're huge, aren't they? But, you know, just reading as much as I can, looking up things I don't understand, and so on and so forth. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything in the FCOM about what was being referred to there. Alright, speed alt star. Let's keep going down, shall we? We'll get those speed brakes put away. Suicidal Des. We're going to mess anything with the fixed info page now, though, because we are getting rather close. But we are going to go below the transition level here, so we'll go back to local altimeter. So approach checklist bar set 1008. Seatbelt signs will be going on shortly once we get through 10,000 feet. In fact, let's just get them on now. Seatbelt signs are on. Minimums are set to 540 feet. The auto brake is low and engine mode set to is normal. Approach set is complete. Still needing more drag. Interesting. Good. Okay. Yeah, I think the closest thing I can find really regarding the fix info page, I suppose, is say if we choose like a fix that's not on our flight plan here. So maybe, for example, let's choose Susid. And we'll choose a radial of 110. That looks like that's there. Oh, funnily enough, that intersects SAVSA there, but that was totally unintentional, I promise you. Let's go 120 just for demonstration. And if we go a beam, then it calculates where you're gonna basically cross a beam that fix. In fact, you don't even need to put a radial in there, to be honest. You can just see when you're going to pass a beam that waypoint. And then you can stick it into your flight plan like that. So you've got now a beam AB SUS, a beam SUS, which is the start of SUSID there. So ABSUS, beam SUSID. And you can stick it in there. So I don't know if that's what you're referring to, maybe. But yeah, that's the closest I could find to what was suggested there. Right, flight level 100, landing lights on, nose lights on as well. Seatbelt signs are already on. Let's keep coming down. On the altitude, we'll set 3,000. We'll get the LS push buttons pressed. Good, so we've made our first constraint there below flight level, below altitude 10,000 feet at SAVSA, which is done. And here we go, guys. Lovely stuff. Try that in the second flight plan. What do you mean? Which one do you want us to try in the second flight plan? Oh, still got speed brakes out. Thank you very much, Airbus, for your prompts. Can we get on from this, please? Oh, regarding the fix info page. What would you like us to discuss then, Chris? I don't mind rambling on about Airbus systems and things like that. But there's not much else discussion going on at the moment, so... Yeah. Inserting the abeam thing. Ah, okay. Yeah, I mean, you just saw exactly what would happen there. You could just see it. Just going to insert a waypoint along your route, which is a beam, that other fix. You could see it appeared in yellow as on a temporary flight plan. It's just like another normal waypoint, like, say, for example, you know, like Stone, Cider, etc., etc. Crikey, speed is coming down very low here. Interesting interesting job of doing the managed descent on this one. Right. Okay, well, we'll turn the music off for the arrival then, shall we? Our breach briefing is done. Everything is pretty much good to go. Yeah, you can do it in the direct to page as well, Chris, can't you? Yeah, you can do the same thing. Yeah. Alrighty then, chats. Let's take some more outside views in before we have to focus up here. What is that sound? That's... It's like that sort of... like a ringing sound when you get a certain distance away. I don't think I've ever noticed that before. That's interesting. Alrighty. So I might as well set our platform altitude 2,500 feet. Keep coming down here. Oops, did not mean to press that button. Okie dokie. Glide slopes there. Do one more weather check. So wind is more or less the same, slightly more. Oops. Need to put the full thing in. 2908. Temperature 28. QNH 1008. Lovely. Roger that. Okay, might as well go to approach phase here. And we shall go to flaps 1, speed checked. Flaps 1. And we'll go to vertical speeds. Lovely stuff. Alrighty then. Arm approach. Got 3 dual AP 1+2. Lock blue. Glide slope blue. Alt is blue also. VS minus 900. Just going to reduce that to 800 here so we can actually nicely catch the glide slope here. Beautiful continuous descent there. Love to see it. Right, so let's get the replay tool recording, shall we? Alright, glide slope star, localizer star. Go around altitude is 2,500 feet. That's already set. Good stuff. 11.7 miles to go, so no sense in slowing down too much further. We slowed down to this speed this early because there is a speed constraint at Baron of 200 knots. There's the runway. As you can see, we're just slightly off to the left. Elliot, welcome to the chats. Welcome indeed. Good afternoon to you. Is that a DSLR, as in the camera I'm using for the this camera? This camera? It is DSLR, yeah. Beam points good for tracking fuel according to the flight plan, even if you're not following the original route. Yes, absolutely, Chris. Yep. Indeed, indeed. Right, 8.7 miles. Let's go to flaps 2, speed check. Flaps 2 is set. Let's go to gear down. Beautiful blue waters. And I've totally forgotten I'm on VATSIM for a moment there. Let me just make sure there's no one else around me. There is not. Okay, fine. Phuket traffic, Thai Asia 4110 is on a 6-mile final, runway 27, Phuket traffic. Right, flaps 3, speed check. Flaps 3. The spoilers as well. And flaps full, speed check. Flaps full, landing checklist, ECAM memo, landing no blue, landing check is complete. Let's land this sucker, chat. Let's go for flight directors off. And bird on. Forgetting my keybinds for a minute there.
1,000.
1,000 feet is checked. Oh, going off center line here because I'm not paying attention. Runway track 16265 is set.
100 above. Minimum. 500.
Continue. Auto thrust disconnect. It's a little bit turbulent, it feels. Wind from the right.
$100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard.
This might be a go round, chats.
5.
Go round. Flaps. Positive rates. Gear up. Nav. AP2. Alt start, speeds, auto thrust, flap set to 1. Well, I'm fairly certain we actually buttered that first landing there, but we're outside the touchdown zone, so that's a go around. And flaps to 0 past the S speeds. Looks nice. DSLRs, mirrorless are the boss. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can't beat a... I mean, it's more to do with the lens, really, isn't it? It's more about the lens and the sensor size than the actual type of camera. But, yeah, I mean, DSLRs, mirrorless, very, very nice. Shallow depth of field, etc. Very, very good. But, you know, on this screen right now, the resolution is so small. You could really make so many different cameras look like that with some good lighting. And, you know, you can even do depth of field with the NVIDIA, what's it called? NVIDIA Broadcast now as well, which does look pretty convincing. Right, okie dokes then, chat. So rather than flying this full go around here, I'm going to just basically give us some vectors back on to the ILS here. So we'll set 085. Okie dokie. Thank you very much, George. I always need all the good luck in the world. What happened then? Was it the wind? To be honest, no. It was probably just me, James. I was probably just a little bit not paying enough attention, really, to what I was doing. Because I was trying to set the inbound course, inbound track there for the runway. So I was glancing over at my other monitor because I was double checking that I got it correct, 265, and then I completely forgot what my keybind was to show the bird, and yeah, it just kind of threw me off a little bit, and the rest of the approach from there was a little bit skewy with, and I was constantly having to correct. So yeah, I think it was just me being, yeah, not paying enough attention, essentially. Why do all way do around go way? Sorry, Sasha, I'm not sure what you mean by that one. Prime lenses all the way, yeah, very good. Yeah, Elliot, absolutely love a prime lens. F1.8, yeah. I mean, F1.8 does look very, you know, nice with the shallow depth of field, but it's such a shallow depth. It's such a shallow depth of field. Yeah, I very, very rarely use 1.8. But that's just because of the type of stuff I photograph. Absolutely starts with lighting. No camera will do a good job without that. Exactly, Liana. Yeah, exactly. I mean, a good camera can look shit if you have shit lighting. Like, for example, if I turn my light off here that I've got on my face, like, that looks tosh now, doesn't it? Even though there's a little bit of background blur there, it looks pretty poor. And especially if I tried to expose for my face right now, that would look even worse because it'd just be completely white behind me. Right, okay. So let's get ourselves back on to final then, shall we, chat? So we'll go to flaps 1, speed check, flaps 1. It does feel a little bit turbulent here, a little bit bumpy though. As you can hear, the engine constantly changing its power setting. Very bumpy over these hills. Right, we'll give ourselves a turn in. And we'll come down to 2,000 feet. Right, I think that should just about do it for us. Might be a slightly steep intercept, but should still be doable. Now we can definitely do a bit more than that, can't we? Good. Right, well, arm approach. Alt star, glide slope blue, localizer blue, Cat 3 dual, AP 1+2. Auto brake, we wanted to have low, didn't we? That's obviously got deselected because we are... we actually touched the wheels to the ground before. Right, okay then. So, speed is checked. Flaps set to 2. Glide slope star, localizer star. And flaps 2 set, gear down. I definitely forgot to activate the approach phase a bit earlier there. But never mind, speed check, flaps 3. A320 batteries are at 0 volts. Do I know how to fix it? Not sure off the top of my head, George. Maybe check the Discord. Right, flaps full speed is checked. Flaps set to full. Alrighty. Let's do this thing, chat. So, landing checklist. Ecam memo, landing no blue. We'll set the ground altitude 2,500. Let's do it, chat. Go flight directors off. I'm not going to set the inbound track this time. It just distracted me last time.
1,000.
1,000 is checked. We are stabilized. Got wind from our left this time. Before it was from our right. Auto thrust disconnect.
100 above. Minimum.
Continue.
500.
Does feel very difficult to keep the wings level here. I feel like I'm fighting the aircraft almost.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 5.
Alrighty. Spoilers, decel. Not even using the reverses. Manual brakes. Lovely stuff, chats. See, that was worth going around for, wasn't it now? That was worth going around for. And I've missed my turn off, but let's see if we can get the next one. Is that taxiway closed? It is. Okay, never mind. Next one. Yeah, I did want that first turn off. We approached it a lot quicker than I thought. So let's go Bravo. Alright, we'll get the landing lights off. Start the APU master and APU starter. This taxiway is closed as well. I like how they've got the nice crosses there. Welcome to Phuket, guys. Welcome indeed. Welcome indeed. We've got the flaps retracted and the spoilers disarmed. Here's Bravo. Custom taxiway signage there as well. You'd love to see it. Let's have a good look at that there. Oh, beautiful. Right, welcome guys. This is the Orbx scenery for this airport. Alright, we'll get the strobes off now. And we're going to go for stand 10, weren't we, chat? So let's go gate 10. Right, so predictive wind shear and weather radar off. Get a TCAS and transponder off as well. So after landing checklist, radar predictive wind shear off. After landing checklist complete. Soren, welcome to the chat. I hope you're doing well. We're not doing the return today, no. Feel free to put your landing rate predictions in the chat though, guys. We're going to have a look at the report on New Sky momentarily. We're doing a tour of the airport. We will have a good look around the airport. Yeah, this is the first time I've seen this. I actually purchased this just today, and I've not actually had a look around it at all yet. So, well, only a brief look around to make sure that it actually works, but other than that. Right, okie dokes then, chat. Quite a good stand choice, this, right underneath the sign. Love to see it. VDGS provided by GSX, of course, and we're going way too quick. Too far, of course. Right, okay then. So, AP is available. We'll go engine 1, engine 2 shut down. We'll stick the APU bleed because it is quite warm here in Phuket. Beacon light off. We'll get the fuel pumps off as well. And seatbelt signs finally. We'll get the ground crew to connect the ground power and get the chocks in place. And we'll go ahead and operate the jetway here. I don't know why GSX does this on arrivals. It just seems to be crashing every time recently. Let's open the log and just see what it says here. I have no idea what that means. Tell you what, it might be something to do with toggling a jetway, so let's just do it this way. Request deboarding. Hey, that wasn't too bad on the parking. Not too bad at all, I don't think. Look at that. We've got the AirAsia branded GPU as well. Love to see it. Good. Okay, our arrival message. Good stuff, chat. Alrighty. Well, welcome to Phuket. Wait, where's the sign gone? Oh, it's just we're just at the perfect angle that is we can't see it. That's that's cool. Right. Okay. So, last chance for landing rate predictions, and we're gonna have a look at the report on New Sky. Right, let's have a look then, shall we? So, ignore the call sign, etc. I'm literally just using New Sky for flight tracking here. So, we were a bit late on the departure, quite late actually, and late on the arrival. We made $5,000, but we didn't have a full aircraft, so that's not that great considering. So revenue, tickets was the main there, and yeah, not too bad. And then looking at the pilot rating, which is what we all care about, isn't it, honestly? 9.34, so not that great actually, mainly because of the delay here and the landing lights which are left on, which is super annoying. Yeah, 0.36 minus for that and 0.3 for the flight delay, so that's unfortunate. However, the saving grace is that we did get a great touchdown, which you love to see. After one go around, 1.15 G and 177 feet per minute in normal conditions. And then we were actually towards the end of the acceptable range regarding distance from threshold, and centerline deviation was okay as well. Let's have a look. So there's the initial approach and the subsequent go around, and then coming in on the offset localizer there, and then correcting for centerline, and then coming in, and then which was the landing that we just did there, 1431. There it was. Okay, so yeah, actually that's pretty much perfect really, isn't it? We were just on, you know, 1,500 feet. Pretty nice really. I think I'll take that. Right on centerline. That's good. Alrighty. I'm pretty happy with that landing, I think. And we did actually record that on SkyDolly as well. So we'll watch that back in a moment. We'll watch that at the end of the stream, actually, after we've explored the airport. And for you guys who, I think one of the previous streams, I was actually discussing what these different coloured lines were on New Sky. So I actually worked out what they were. So I spoke to Robson, the developer. The blue line is obviously... I'll zoom in even more so you can see it more clearly. So the blue line... I'm going to make my pen red here so you can kind of sort of see a bit easier. So the blue line is obviously the actual, you know, track that I flew as the aircraft. So there's two lines there because I did a go around. Second approach. The green line is the center line detected from the simulator. So that information comes from the simulator. And then the white dotted line is actually based on New Sky's internal database. I believe Robson, he said he left that in for debugging purposes, and it doesn't actually have any bearing on your landing score at all. So really all you need to look at is the green line there. So yeah, that's that piece of information, if anyone was wondering. It's so sad that we were so delayed, and landing lights is such a rubbish thing to get docked for, but never mind. Never mind. Cool. Right. So, chat, I'm just going to take a couple of minutes here. I'm just going to take a couple of minutes. And I'll be back with you. And we'll have a look around this airport, shall we? Right, bear with me. Alrighty. Orbx quality, they are indeed, yeah. They do have some very nice sceneries. Airport sceneries especially. Liana says GSX crashed and pushed back before it couldn't use the audio device it was configured for. Not very obvious in the logs, but eventually discovered that. Yeah, GSX has some strange ways about it, doesn't it? Yeah, and who got the landing rate prediction correctly there? Well, there's only 2 guesses, wasn't there? But it was Joseph Eck. Congratulations, Joseph, and welcome to the chat as well, by the way, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Liana says, not a fan of the handling of the Phoenix. I quite like the handling of the Phoenix. I think it feels I feel like it feels like one of the better planes in the sim to handle it. I think you've just got to try and get your sensitivity dialed in a little bit better, because I find the sensitivity compared to other aircraft is quite a bit different, and I mean most aircraft are quite a lot different, aren't they? In the sim, but I think once you get your sensitivity dialed in, it is pretty nice, in my opinion. Obviously, never flown an Airbus, but yeah, I think it feels pretty nice. I think the main area that I don't like about the Phoenix handling is just in crosswinds. It's a bit funky, but I feel like that approach there, it was a little bit bumpy, a little bit, I didn't really want the catering etc. to come here, so. Anyway, yeah, I think, the bumpiness and all that kind of happened on that approach there, I think that probably would have happened in any aircraft in the sim. And I think it was just because the wind was so variable there. It was kind of blowing from a little bit from the right and then a little bit from the left. Granted, it wasn't changing much, but potentially that was what was causing it. Obviously, it's quite a warm day here as well. A lot of dark ground below, so potentially a lot of thermals in the area as well, making the handling a little bit more difficult. So, yeah, maybe. I mean, we all know Microsoft Flight Simulator's sort of turbulence model is, is questionable. I think a lot of people would agree on. So I suppose that probably played a bit of a part in that arrival then. Fly-by-wire handles much nicer. It's definitely far more forgiving, isn't it? Yeah. And the fly-by-wire handles really, really nice, doesn't it? But I suppose that leads to the question: is it nicer in terms of easier, or nicer in terms of more realistic? Because obviously Phoenix is a payware product, so you would really like to think that the Phoenix is more akin to the feel of the real aircraft than the free version. But then again, fly-by-wire, absolutely no slouches, are they? But I think the most strange thing about the fly-by-wire and the Phoenix is that to hand fly them both, they both feel quite a bit different actually, which is very, very surprising. I wouldn't have thought in the real world both aircrafts would feel that much different, because it's the same wing, right? It's the same fuselage. It's just different engines, right? Or is it different wings and the same fuselage? I can't quite remember. Obviously different engines, which is a big part of it, but yeah. Anyway, do I know the Phoenix? Do I know if the Phoenix will come out with sharklets? Yes, they are going to do sharklets eventually, but they absolutely no idea when that's going to be. Microsoft Flight Sim very keen to give you very variable crosswinds. Yeah, yeah, I can get behind that. Matt says hi, I'm back. Hello, Matt. Hope you're doing well. Welcome indeed. Leanna says Phoenix gets plenty of systems incorrect. Just because it's payware doesn't mean it's exactly the original. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that that's what you would expect, wouldn't you? Because it costs, a decent wedge of money. So that's what you would expect. And yeah, I mean, obviously in a flight simulator for, you know, consumer use, there is always going to be some inaccuracies, isn't there? I know from pilots they handle differently, particularly in the flare. Interesting. Good to know, Liana. I mean, obviously the Neos have the... They have a... What? Don't they have the... No, they don't have... Do they have something called flare law? Or am I getting that mixed up with rotate law? Maybe. I don't know. But that's interesting. Good to know. It's mostly the engines and software stuff. Also options for hoods and stuff. Oh, very nice. I don't think I've ever seen an Airbus hood. George says, do you know what to do? I've contacted the Fly-by-Wire Discord. I've reinstalled it and changed my livery. To be honest, George, I think it might be something that's... you might have something that's conflicting. Can we dismiss the fuel truck? Can't. Let's just do that. You might have some other mod that conflicts with the fly-by-wire, George. It might be worth looking into that because I don't think it's... Is it? I'm not sure it's actually possible to fully drain the batteries in the fly-by-wire because there's no way to... yeah, I don't know. If you've just loaded in, then, you know, for the first time with the aircraft, you know, there shouldn't be any way to really immediately drain the batteries like that. So my first thoughts go to, you know, some conflict with another mod. Might not be in your community folder, might be in your content manager as well. It might be an official folder jobby. It might be something through the marketplace, something like that. I don't know. I'm sure Fly-by-Wire will get back to you. They're very good at doing support on their on the Discord. Might be worth giving a little bit of a search on the Discord as well. If I'm ever having a problem, I usually do a bit of a search as well on their Discord. In fact, I'll do a quick search for you now, actually, and let's just see if we can actually work this out real quick. Yeah, so if you go into the Discord, Fly-by-Wire Discord, George, and you type into the search box 0V battery, there's tons of people who have had that issue. So I'm sure you'll be able to find something in there if you just have a bit of a look around. Right, guys, let's have a bit of a browse around this airport then, shall we? This is the first time I've seen this one for real. So... Well, in the sim, just purchased it this morning, like I said, so let's have a look then, shall we? Absolutely buttery frame rate when I'm not on VATSIM. I absolutely love it. Right, okay, so welcome to Phuket, guys. I'm convinced I'm still saying that wrong. Let's start from the air side, shall we? Looks like this is the boundary here. Got the welcome gates. Love to see it. Very, very nice. Okie dokes. So, not much of an airside, but you know, there's decent amount going on here. We've got some ancillary buildings. We've got a bit of a road there. And actually, while we're looking at roads, let me just check something real quick here. Because I've got the global shipping add-on on, and I'm not seeing any ships. Do I need to put this to 10 actually? Is that the way it works? I can't remember. Anyway, we'll just do that for now. Right, so yeah, there's definitely a bit of stuff going on here. Bit of cars parked, bit of road action. Got a car park with cars in it, or at least on top anyway, which is always nice. And this modeling looks pretty cool as well, doesn't it? Got a bit of an interior as well. Fairly simple interior, but that is absolutely fine with me. In fact, this kind of interior is more like something is what I would have expected in you know, Bangkok if they were going to do that whole arrivals sort of the departure area with all the check-in desks and things like that. Because it's just not seen from the air side. But there we go. A little bit more car park down here. We've got some signage, which is very, very high resolution, very, very crisp looking. PBR materials as well. Absolutely love to see it with the... I like the modelling with the little lights above as well. That's quite cool, isn't it? Phuket. See, even AirAsia like a bit of a giggle over that one. Domestic terminal, again, looking pretty good. I mean, there is a sort of a bit of a look to this side of the airport. It kind of looks a little bit... It's missing something. Missing maybe a little bit of weathering or something. The textures just look a little bit smooth. You know what I mean? Maybe. I mean, it's not... It's still pretty nice, though, I do have to say. Right, so coming around to the air sides. Some more signage, which is very, very nicely modelled with the little stands there. All 3D modelled and textured quite nicely, I will say. At least for a sign anyway. Let's flip the sun around, shall we? So we could see a bit better on this side. There we go. Lovely stuff. Okie dokes. Yeah, that's okay. Some flat textures for the windows here, which I'm absolutely okay with. And yeah, texturing down here is pretty nice. I like this texturing. These pillars are a little bit... Oh, I think they're supposed to be like that, aren't they? Yeah, that's fine. Nice. Custom jetways as well, which are quite nice. I think the textures on there are a little bit low res, aren't they? But the detail is pretty nice. And this is what I was talking about. I mean, the textures on here are not like super high in terms of pixel count resolution, but because they're nice and detailed, you know, with the wear and tear and, you know, the detail on this pipe and stuff, it looks so much better than, you know, what we had at the Siamflight scenery, where it was just literally just like a completely white thing. Sorry, a completely yellow pipe, for example. And they've even gone in and put in some of the sort of baked in ambient occlusion and stuff in there as well, which looks nice as well. Bit of AirAsia conveyors, baggage conveyors here. Looking very, very nice. Nice textured. Again, wear and tear, PBR. Very, very nice. There's not too much clutter though, is there? But I don't think it looks too bad actually. I'm not sure if that's just a thing with this airport. It's relatively clutter-free. There's not much clutter though, is there? Not much stuff lying around, but there's a decent amount. I know some of this stuff will be added by GSX though. That's something to bear in mind. Ground textures are very nice, I think. Quite good. Yeah. Lots of cracks and detail in them. And yeah, I think it looks good. The ground markings as well, absolutely spot on. Maybe a little bit blurry, but yeah, the coloration, etc. is very, very nice. So this is the kind of... I mean, maybe it's even a little bit too desaturated here. But it is nice, nevertheless. It's definitely better than it being too bright. You've got this texture in the middle here as well, which also looks very good. But yeah, I'm very impressed with the ground textures, ground markings, custom jetways. You've got this kind of lead into the jetway here as well, which is nicely done. The glass is visible from the inside as well. Let's see. We've got a bit of an interior here. We've got this sort of mezzanine balcony area. We've got a bit of an interior model, but it's pretty sparse. But again, I'm absolutely fine with that. Same thing up here. Yeah. Nice. Oh, way more going on through here, though. That's quite cool. But yeah, still very, very sparsely done. But again, I'm absolutely fine with this. That's absolutely fine with me. You know, as long as you get that feeling from the outside. Oh, look at the windows as well. They've got kind of this worn kind of dirtiness to them, which actually is quite cool. It's very rare that you actually see that. Most glass, a lot of glass you see in the sim is just perfectly clean. So that's quite a nice little detail, I have to say. What else we got? We got this little... Is this like a government building or a private terminal, something like that? Maybe nothing to do with the airport. I don't know. It's outside the apron boundary though, isn't it? So it's probably not a terminal building, is it? Right. Blast fence here. What have we got? Fire station. Note the VTBS. That's part of GSX. That's very nicely modelled and textured, isn't it? Look at the wear and tear on that. Very, very nice. Yeah. I like it. I like it. Let's have a look at this apron real quick. This has got slightly different textures. Nice. Good. As good as the rest, I think. This little grill's quite nicely done. Yeah. I'm pretty happy with this one. This is quite a nice one. The king of duty free over here. One thing that I haven't noticed though is a tower. Where's the tower at? Is that somewhere down here yonder? Is that the tower there? Damn! What a lush place to have the tower. Relatively well modelled and textured. I feel like the tower is slightly less well done than the rest of the airport, to be honest with you, but it still looks pretty nice. Got the beacon on top there as well, which is very bright. Taxiways look very, very nice. Again, similar sort of story to the apron. And the runway textures, very nice, I do have to say. No rubber markings or anything on the runway, which might be surprising, but quite nice, I think, though, nevertheless. Although, whatever's going on all the way along the middle here, that kind of looks a bit odd. Not sure what's going on there with that. Some more fire engines here. This might be the fire station proper. And it looks like they've obviously had to do some terraforming and stuff like that, and the water. That was probably a pain to do, I imagine. I know Flightbeam has had quite a lot of iteration on the Denver scenery that they have done for the sim due to terraforming, etc. Oh, this is the private terminal here. Nice. Alrighty. Oh, look at that. We've got a bit more of an asphalty texture here, which is, again, nicely done. And a VOR beacon. This is probably the Phuket VOR. Lovely. Right. Yeah, very nice. I think one thing that would have been quite cool for this scenery... Oh, look at that. We've got some stuff down here as well. We've got this playground. Or water park, I guess. With no water. But very, very cool, nevertheless. That was quite unexpected to see there. And I think this building must be added by the scenery as well. That doesn't look default. Yeah, what would have been quite cool to see on this scenery, though, is... obviously, on this approach here, you've got a lot of these... sort of... these little... I mean, you've got a lot of them in this sort of area of the world. These little islands which just rise out of the sea. Would have been quite cool for those to be, you know, properly modelled in with a lot of detail on, because they're quite poorly rendered in the default sim. So that would be quite cool to see. But nevertheless, very, very nice scenery, I do think. Definitely not the best of the best of the best, but definitely a very nice scenery, I will say. What are we going to give it? So what did I give the other one earlier? I gave it a 7.1, 6.9 to a 7.1. I think this is a good 7.9, I think. 7.9? Is that fair? I would probably give it... Okay, let's give it a dead 8. Let's give it an 8, I think. Let's give it an 8. I think if I was going to improve this somehow, I would add more ground clutter. I would slightly bump the texture resolution where possible, because there's a few areas where it's a little bit low res. And then... no, I think that's really it. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh, actually. Oh, we didn't look at the taxiway signage as well, didn't we? We saw it coming in, but custom taxiway signage also is quite nicely done. Yeah, nice. Okay, I think I'm being a little bit harsh on it, actually, thinking about it. I think we give it an 8.5. I think maybe just a bit more clutter and a bit more higher texture resolution. Let's have a quick look at night lighting as well, although... yeah, let's see what that looks like. So, let's come in here. Yeah, so the interiors look okay at night. They look a little bit too well lit, I think, maybe in my opinion, but I don't know. The night lighting in general does look okay. I think, like I say, the interior definitely looks a bit too bright at night. It looks far too easy to see in there, I think. The glass almost looks like completely invisible, almost, I think. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It just looks like it's too uniform brightness inside, I think. Maybe it's one way to put it. And then the lighting on the apron, I mean... I don't really know what the lighting's like in the real airport, so I can't really say much about that, but it does look quite dim overall. Not very bright. Usually airport aprons, quite bright areas because of obviously all the activity. Like, imagine being, you know, doing the walk around. It's kind of pretty dark back here, right? Although the sim lighting is probably not that good of a comparison. And then the taxiway lighting, etc., I don't think is custom or anything. Interestingly, no green centerline lights here, but that might be true to real. But yeah, overall, lighting is probably not... I mean, again, it's difficult for me to say without looking at the real airport whether it's actually as intended or not. But I think my impressions are it looks a bit dark. But the rest of the lighting looks good. The interior looks a bit off, but that's a relatively small point. Oh, and the flat textures actually as well for the windows there. They don't look that great either, do they, to be honest? These ones definitely look better than these ones, but not that great. Okay, let's knock it down. Let's knock it down to let's give it an 8.1. I think. Chat, do we agree? Do we agree? Try sunset lighting. I can try sunset lighting, yes. We'll do it from this side. Yeah, I mean, sunset lighting, yeah. Looks alright. I mean, I feel like the sun, sometimes when you have sunset lighting, because it's so dramatic anyway, kind of makes things look better than what they actually are, if you know what I mean. But it looks nice. Yeah, that's good. Nice reflections there on the signage. Not much reflections going on the windows, but I might be getting the angle wrong. But some about those windows it's a little bit off, isn't there? But yeah, I think overall, I think an 8.1 is fair. I think that's a solid score. Right? Alrighty. Let's have a look at that replay then, shall we, chat? Excuse me. What I'm going to do first of all, though, is we're going to twizzle around like so. Whee! Do a bit of this. I'll plop this guy down. Let's come into the tower view, actually. Plop him down there. And we'll come back to the aircraft and we'll go ready. Top windows look default Microsoft Flight Sim. As in these ones up here or over on the left side. On this side. Yeah, they possibly are, to be fair. Green glass is too matte. Yes. Yeah, it does look a bit too... It doesn't look particularly shiny, does it? Did I hear about the DD airports? He has nice models. Yeah, I have. Yeah, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I've got the. I'm really sorry, I can't say his name. Twizjeki. I'm so bad at pronouncing things sometimes. Yeah, I've got their Ronald Reagan airport in Washington. That's very nice. That's very nice. And I've heard a lot of good things about their other sceneries like Newark. And obviously they've got quite a few Polish airports as well, which I'm planning on getting at some point in the future. But I've just not really got around to that yet. But yeah, he's a very good developer. Or they are. I'm not sure what the situation is. But yeah, very good developer. Very good developer. Right, let's play the replay then, shall we? Right, here comes the go-around initially. When am I planning Poland? I'm not sure, Pringles. At some point in the future. TM. I'm not sure just yet, but you will see. I put out a schedule, or I tried to put out a schedule either every Monday or Tuesday sometime in the morning for the week streams, and yeah, you'll find out if you know what I'm doing for the week on those schedules. Let's just adjust the lighting a little bit here. Right, so here's the go around from the tower view. Just a slight touch there. Try not to over rotate there. And off we go again. Let's see, where did we actually touch there? 25% speed. Let me just pause this for a second so I can center this camera properly. Yeah. Yeah, we were well outside the touchdown zone there. Oh no, we weren't. Just within it. Oh no, we still haven't touched though, have we? There we go, there's the touch. Yeah, just outside there. So yeah, no good. No good. And off we go again. The camera's become uncentered again. There we go. Right. And around we go. Second time. Lucky. The Boeing Renton scenery is beautiful. Yeah, that does look very, very nice, the Renton. Yeah, definitely. Let me just sort this camera out. There we go. That's the one problem with using lock mode. It's very, very easy to just get it to go all skewy with. You accidentally move the camera a bit. Right, so here's the second landing. Looking much better there. Oh yeah, tasty. Very, very nice. A little bit to the right center line there. But yeah, very, very good. Very pleased with that one. Let's watch that again from a little bit of a different angle. Just going to turn the plane sound down a bit because it doesn't really play about the engines properly. Solid. Pretty pleased with that one, I have to say. Oops. See what height above thresh was. Are we above the threshold here? No, we're not. 50 feet. Bang on. Maybe a teeny tiny float there. I'll take it. I'll take it. Beach towel livery. Condor. Yes, I do enjoy that livery. Yeah, that is very, very nice. Is that where they make 757s there at Renton? I didn't realize they did 757s there as well. Look much smoother than what New Sky reported. Yeah, potentially. I mean, well, after speaking with Robson, the developer in New Sky, apparently what New Sky uses is something that's... It takes like a landing rate reading from the sim, which is apparently far more accurate than reading the vertical speed at touchdown, which a lot of other apps do. So, yeah, sometimes you feel like it can look a bit different to how a New Sky reads it. But the focus in New Sky really is on the actual G-force, really. And it was 1.1 G, wasn't it? I think, if I remember correctly. Rather than the actual the feet per minute. But we use that because, you know, most people are used to that. James, take it easy. No worries at all, my dude. Thank you very much for dropping by. Glad you enjoyed. Thank you very much. Looking from the town while having ice cream. Yeah, that'd be really nice, wouldn't it? Matt, take it easy, dude. Sorry I missed you if you're already gone. Right then, guys. That's going to be it from me for today. I will take it. Love to see it. Yeah, I'm going to play out from here, chat. We're going to let the replay play out for the outro. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed today, do leave a thumbs up on your way out if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And I hope you have a very good start to your week next week. I'll be back on Tuesday evening for another stream. I'm not sure what we're doing yet, but I will make a post at some point tomorrow for that. But guys, thank you very much for dropping in. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a fantastic Sunday evening. Bye for now. Oh, look at the little boat down there. Cruising.